Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures with Heckenback. Today we'll be visiting Cuyahoga National Park, where we'll ride a train, check out the visitor center, and take a little hike to see Brandywine Falls. But first, we have to make it out of Allegheny National Forest and into Ohio. Drive off the side. In the previous video, we had spent the day exploring Allegheny National Forest, checking out Kinzue Bridge State Park, and then had a late afternoon lunch at Bent Run Brewing. So now we needed to make our way back to our campsite at the Lolita Recreation Area so we could start to get packed up and prepared to head to Ohio the next day. There were still a few interesting things to see on our way back to camp. The brewery was up here in Warren, and we needed to make it back down here to Lolita. But instead of taking the main road, we wanted to stay on as many forest roads as possible in this area. Camping. Next 1.25 miles. While you can camp almost anywhere in a national forest, sometimes there are restrictions. In this area, the restrictions may be due to the number of drilling operations. Allegheny is facing a problem that many national forests are facing. These drilling operations are often abandoned. This really became a problem in 2020 when many operations folded due to the sudden decrease in demand. And the wells are just left, which pose both a pollution hazard and even a physical danger sometimes. Warren Archery Club.
Danger archery range. Oh yeah, there's like things in the woods. There are targets, so my window probably shouldn't be down.
Somebody camping there. Oh, almost looks again like somebody. Oh, dog. Oh, dog. Oh, dog. It's okay. He's back there. He's two of them. Okay. Oh, watch. Oh, stop. Just go slow. There, she's calling him back. Go slow. I would just go.
They're in front.
Go slow.
It's okay.
Trout Club, Cooperative Trout Nursery. It's so interesting to us when we drive through a national forest how you can have commercial industrial interest in one area that doesn't always but can pose an environmental risk, and then just a few miles down the road you can have conservation efforts. We know that these industrial projects are often funding the conservation that is taking place, that it's kind of a give and take, but the juxtaposition of those two things in a natural environment like this are a little bit jarring to us.
Entering this area is prohibited.
So does that mean you can't hike in there?
No, you're not supposed to hike in there at all.
Oh, okay.
A little teardrop.
We made it back to camp just as the sun was setting. Enjoyed a peaceful night with the rain pattering on the roof. And then the next morning, as we were enjoying our coffee, we had a visit from this robin.
She brought that thing out again. I'm out of here.
No, just sitting there on the branch.
Yeah.
Once we had camp packed up, we hit the road for Ohio and Punderson State Park. So in case you weren't aware, Cuyahoga Valley National Park has no camping. It is an urban national park. And so you have to find somewhere in the area to stay. Punderson is a state park about 45 minutes away from Cuyahoga. We'll share another video in the future all about Punderson State Park. In the morning, we were up bright and early so we could head to Cuyahoga to catch a train. Of course, Tim had found a coffee shop along the way so we could stop and get our second cup of coffee for the morning. Cuyahoga Valley National Park sits between Cleveland and Akron. Cuyahoga was originally established in 1974 as a national recreation area. It wasn't designated a national park until 2000.
Restrooms, towpath, parking.
No parking in here.
Well, let's see where else parking is.
Because this is an urban park, parking can be limited in some areas, especially if you have a trailer in tow. So always do a little research ahead of time. Check out their website to have some ideas for where you're going to park. Here in Peninsula at the train station, there is an overflow parking lot. Peninsula Depot is right in the middle of the park. Cuyahoga Valley Rail Line began service in 1880. In 1989, Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railway, which is a nonprofit organization, formalized an agreement with the national park to provide scenic excursions.
Morning, I think we are here.
What you got? So throw it in, yeah. Yes. Watch your step when you go up.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
We were riding the first train on a Wednesday, and as you can see, our car wasn't crowded at all. We had booked these tickets last minute, and unfortunately, the dome cars, where you probably get a much better view, were all booked, even on a Wednesday. There are several seating options from coach all the way up to first class. Prices range anywhere from $18 up to $38. Currently, the train is only running from Peninsula to Akron instead of the full length of the park due to an erosion issue on the northern end. There are repairs planned though, so hopefully the full length will be open again in the future.
Thank you, sir.
And in the 1950s, the truckers took over and put the train out of business. In the mid-1970s, we took over the tracks as a Scenic Railroad. We're a volunteer organization run by volunteers.
The round trip between Peninsula and Akron takes about 2 hours.
At this point, the Cuyahoga River turns back to go north. And there's a trail there called Portage Trail. And what the Indians used to do was they hike about 20 miles. They go to a feeder river, and from that feeder river they could go to the Ohio, and then the Mississippi, and then all the way down to New Orleans. So by hiking that 20 miles with their canoes, they could go all the way down to New Orleans. That's known as Portage Trail, and that they've replicated that trail, and you could ride your bike or you could hike it 20 miles.
One of the most popular activities in Cuyahoga is biking the towpath trail that runs alongside the river. So you can bike one way and then take the train back the other way. That was something that we seriously considered doing, but we only had one day in the park and we wanted to see as many different areas as possible. There are several places along the towpath trail where you can rent regular bicycles and even electric bikes. Honestly, towards the end of the ride, we were starting to get a little bit antsy, but I think this would be awesome for like an early afternoon break to either get lunch on the train or bring lunch with you and use this as an opportunity to relax and have lunch while riding the train. Besides the scenic ride, they also offer several experiences throughout the year, such as the North Pole Adventure and Grape Escapes with a local winery.
Steps are around the slope. This was the canal they filled in.
Oh, this is the lock.
Well, I mean, this was a lock, but
Between the canal and the river.
Yeah. Some more over here. This one here must be the bike. The bike car and then the bike seating. Those foundation stones in front of you, is it those? That's not actually in front of us. Ooh, it is hot out there in the sun. Heckenbeck says it's only 73 right now, but it is definitely hotter than that in the sun. So yeah, renting an electric bike would definitely be a thing to do.
From Peninsula, we headed a little bit north to the Boston Mill Visitor Center. Boston Mill is a beautiful visitor center and definitely worth the stop. After the visitor center, we hopped back in the truck to head over to Brandywine Falls.
Headquarters offices, building probably houses for rangers and stuff, you think? To the falls.
Okay. You heard her, Heckenbeck.
Okay, you ready?
It's a boardwalk.
It is a boardwalk. See down there?
Downstairs.
The distance from the parking lot to the falls isn't very far at all. But if you want to go down close to the falls, there are about 100 steps you have to go down. And then, of course, back up again. You can stay on an upper boardwalk that has fewer steps and still get a fairly decent view. But if you can do the steps, I would definitely recommend going down.
It's not that many stairs.
No, it's not that bad. Yeah, then we gotta go back up. That's what you always forget.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at the ferns growing in there.
There are 2 trails in this area. The Brandywine Gorge Trail is a little over a mile long, and the Stanford Trail is 1.7 miles. Both are rated moderate to difficult, primarily because they both include a number of steps. Yep. Isn't it amazing that the amount of water,
Up there?
yeah, it seems so much more like coming over the falls than what you actually see flowing here.
Imagine what the falls would be like. This is all.
After a heavy rainstorm
It was up to that. There.
or in the spring. Careful, that butt is sweaty.
Balls. Butt crack. Anyway.
On our way back to camp, we stopped at Bum and Beaver Brewery to sample some of their fine brews. And then we headed back to camp to make dinner and to get packed up because we had a ferry to catch the next day, so we needed to be out of here bright and early. Of course, Tim found another coffee shop for us to hit on our way out of town, and this one had chocolate as well. In the next video, we're going to share with you 24 hours in Put-in-Bay, Ohio. If you've never heard of Put-in-Bay, be sure to join us for that next video. As always, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us on this adventure, and we'll see you in that next video.